Presenting holders 31 through 35. The holder of silence. Holder number 35. Do not speak, do not sigh. Shut down any sound-making device. Smash it if you must. Send away your friends and family. Never see them again. And smother that damn dog. Shoot the neighbors. They want to break it. The silence. Hear it? Pure and golden, all for you. There will be no clamor, no gasping or struggling, as long as you maintain the silence. Walk to the Institute, make no noise, and let no others blast or blare through your silence. Their fists and guns and bullets must not stop you. They must not break the silence. When you reach the Institute, hand the desk worker a blank piece of paper and they will understand. You will be taken deep into the Institute. All the while, bask in your silence, crushing you, maddening you. It wants to destroy you so that you may be a part of it. Hear that? The blood rushing through your veins? That must be silent. Tear out the noisy heart, for it is offended and must be cast aside. Continue walking. You must walk, and be surrounded by the silence. Bring up walls and cages to defend the silence. Create punishment for those who break it. When you reach your cell, you may once more speak, but you will not want to. You will simply wish to maintain the silence. Have it surround you, be near you, hold it for a while, because that silence is object 31 of 538. It must not be broken. The holder of speed. Object number 32. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask for something called the holder of speed. The worker should become motionless. Look around yourself. If everything else has become motionless, you're on the right path. If you are not, no one shall know of your demise. This will make it all the worse. You will notice that moving around and breathing will become gradually, but increasingly, difficult. This is expected, for the air slowly becomes motionless. You should explore carefully the hall surrounding you, thinking about your first great failure. But be aware that if you take too long, you will suffocate. Your objective is to find the child who still moves in the midst of the surrounding statuesque shapes. The child will approach you with a ball. Hand it over to you. Pay attention to how the ball is held. The child will then declare, "You're it!" and then run outside the room, always giggling. What you will have to do is return the ball. Careful, do not be fooled by the voice echoing within the halls, for wasted time means you are closer to death by asphyxiation. As time passes, the air will become harder to cut through, requiring greater strength. Warmth will slowly leave your body. Droplets of water will pierce your skin. Most likely, you will be blind, deafened, and similarly mutilated during this chase. Vision will be impaired, as everything will slowly darken, as even light itself is eventually reaching a stop. It is certain that you will find the child in one of the hallways, under a beam of light. It could be coming from a window, a lamp, or any other light source. You should return the ball the same way it was given to you and attempt to escape, giving continuity to the game. If you succeed, the air won't be heavy anymore. You will notice every place you ran past will be damaged to some degree. Depending on where you have finished your ordeal, you may have to give explanations to the facilities administration and somehow avoid imprisonment. If you failed, the child will once again hand you the ball as soon as you are reached. He will then declare, "You're it," and dash to the corridors. You will probably die, pierced by the air's humidity and suffocated, before you can reach the infant a second time. Your newfound agility is object 32 of 538. Mentioning the child to others will earn you at first, scorn and ridicule. To mention him a second time is to invite your demise at the hand of everyone within earshot, if you're lucky. The holder of wind. Holder number 33. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls themselves the holder of wind. The receptionist will then walk off as if you weren't even there. Follow the receptionist. After 5 minutes of what seems like aimless walking, the receptionist will begin to whistle. If it is a tune you recognize, then continue to follow. If you do not recognize the song, try to remember the better times in your life, as from here on out you will know nothing but endless pain in your own personal hell. If you find yourself humming along with a tune, the receptionist will turn to you and point to a room to your left. Enter the room. Inside is a wide prairie filled with endless knee-high grass. The first thing you'll notice is a warm, gentle breeze playing over your face. In the distance, you will hear a faint whispering sound. If you do not hear the whisper, run out the door and close it behind you, or the peaceful prairie will become your final resting place. If the whisper persists, close the door and it'll disappear. Follow the whisper as best you can. After a few steps, a young man will rise out of the grass, clothed in simple farm clothing. This man only knows the answer to one question. What carried them away? The man will tell you a lazy tale, a story filled with illusion and a deception dulled by his accent. You will start to become tired. You may want to lie down and sleep for a while in the comfy grass. But do not, for if you do, you will never awaken from your slumber. Once the man is done rambling, he'll ask you a question. Do you really want it? The laziness-induced scenery will make you want to say no, but resist and take the wind chimes he offers you. The door you came in will then appear in front of you, allowing you to leave in peace. These chimes are object 33 of 538. When the wind causes these chimes to sound, another object is near, as is the end of all hope. The holder of oblivion. Object number 34. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of oblivion. If the attendant stares at you and swallows audibly, follow him to the room deep within the building, far deeper than you thought possible. The attendant will open the door and give you a fearful look. If you are brave, enter the room. If you are craven, flee now. Inside the room, there is only a chair. Sit down in it. If at any time you begin to feel fear, get up and leave. You are still free to escape. If you do choose to stay, you must sit and wait until the lights in the room flicker. Do not stand. Do not get up. If you are not sitting down when the lights flicker, you will then plummet into a void between worlds, a meal for its grotesque denizens. When the lights flicker, you must shut your eyes immediately. Gazing upon the void will destroy your mind. Only when you hear a man clear his throat, you may open your eyes. You will be in a dark dungeon, bound to the chair by a web of ebony chains. Surrounding you will be heads impaled on blood-soaked pikes, and standing before you will be a man wearing an executioner's uniform. Stare at him in the eyes. Do not move your gaze. Do not show even the slightest tinge of fear, for if you do, he will add your head to his collection. The only thing you may speak without being beheaded is the question, what will they bring? The executioner will laugh an inhuman laugh, and then the impaled heads will begin to speak. They will speak of horrors, of executions, of their individual ends. But you must not move your gaze from the executioner, for you too will be speaking of your death eventually. He will speak of his own end, and what they brought to him. When he finishes, he will remove his cowl, revealing a skeleton's face. With a cackle, he will wave his hands, and the world will once again plunge into darkness. When the light returns, you will be sitting peacefully in the lobby of the institution. In your lap will be the executioner's cowl. The cowl is object 34 of 538. You've seen what they bring. Will you stop them? The holder of fear. Object number 35. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of fear. If the time is right, the attendant will lead you to a closet with no floor. With a malicious grin, the worker will shove you into the hole and close the door. As you fall through the abyss, you cannot feel any fear. If you do, you will immediately hit a spike-ridden bottom of the pit and meet a gruesome death. If you remain resolute, your fall will eventually slow and stop, leaving you in a room soaked with darkness. Into the darkness you must speak only one thing. What is their weapon? Immediately the room will be illuminated. Surrounding you will be everything you fear, and in the center will be a creature who will take the appearance of your greatest fear. Not even once can you flinch or shrink away from this creature. It will dismember you in the most painful way possible. You must stare at your greatest fear while it tells you its story in excruciating detail. It will tell you of all the fears of the world, from the tiniest to the greatest, in all their horribleness. When it is finished, the creature will ask you what you fear. Now you must confess all of your fears to the creature, without looking around the room. If you miss even one, you will be consumed by your own terror, leaving nothing but a shell remaining. If you confess all of your fears, the creature will scream, and the scream will send you hurtling into the wall behind you. When you stop moving, you will be across from the closet you entered earlier, and in the closet will be a mirror. That mirror is object 35 of 583. It reflects your greatest fear, and that is their weapon. This has been the Holder series, 31 to 35. Enjoy!